Oh, this is real life. Good evening, my friends, at this point, assuming I get this video up today. I had a very different video planned, but I've come to the realization that I need to drop everything and make this video on this day. So I want to accomplish two things in today's video. I want to talk about how to balance this drama that's going on in the beauty community. It's not going to be a drama video, by the way. I don't know enough about these main players to make that type of content. So instead I want to talk about, what to do with all of this information that is absolutely flooding our YouTube feeds right now. And I'm gonna do my makeup today in a little more natural of an approach, in a way that I can pair with my mask, because I actually do this often, but you guys end up seeing me in much more intense makeup looks on the daily. And by the way, I really liked the way we did the talk about everything first and reviews at the end, so we're gonna stick with that approach. I feel like if you are on a tighter budget right now and you don't want to hear as much about new products and be tempted, this is a perfect model for that. You can still watch someone apply, maybe pick up techniques along the way, but then not feel tempted to buy new products. I don't know, I kind of love it. Basically, the beauty community has once again imploded with the same main players as always in these dramatic situations. We've got Toddy, Shane Dawson, who for some reason is part of the beauty community now, James Charles, and Jeffree Star. It's always the same group of people. And I guess this is all big enough that we are in the same style as Dramageddon, referring to this one as Karmageddon. I guess Toddy has come out with her side of the story, blaming, instead of James Charles, blaming Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. And for whatever reason, it seems that Shane Dawson is really getting hit with the most of this. Now, it seems to me that every time there is one of these dramatic situations, there's always a couple of different groups of people. One group of people who says, oh, I hate the drama, can we please move on from something else? Another group of people that is absolutely living for the drama, and then the people who kind of choose a team and very vehemently stand behind that team. And to be completely honest with you, and you might be able to guess where I fall, I hate it. I hate all of the drama. I managed to get through Toddy's video on 2x speed. I subscribed to all of these beauty channels so that I could keep seeing new products, seeing new techniques, kind of enjoying the actual makeup, But I've come to some realizations, and that's, again, the reason I sat there and watched Toddy's video, and yet I haven't watched any of the reactions to Toddy's video. I think that there really is a balance in all of this drama. There is an amount of awareness that I think is important for everybody, and I also think there's what you do with that information once you have it. In order to make today's video, I actually have to sit here and embarrass myself, which I don't particularly want to do, but I really have to tell you how I arrived at a point where I now watch some of these drama videos and then cut myself off. So quite a few years ago at this point, I did not watch drama channels. I would not touch them. I felt like they were childish. I felt like every amount of drama was just childish behavior and absolutely nothing more than that. However, there was a giant problem in this perspective that I had, and that was by completely avoiding the drama entirely, I was not aware of what was going on with people's characters. And so because of that, there was actually about a 1 to 2 month span of time in which I bought from Jeffree Star. Obviously, this is phenomenally embarrassing at this point, but I had a rationale for it, and that was, obviously Jeffree Star is part of a minority group, and therefore any attacks on him were probably just people who had mentalities that were rooted in homophobia. Oh God, as much as I hate to admit this, I think I fell for the narrative that if you are part of a minority group, there is no possible way that you could be judgmental towards another minority group. But the biggest problem with my whole position is that at the time I wasn't willing to watch these drama videos, to actually fact check my own belief system. I just fell for it. I am extremely blessed to have really good friends in my life, or perhaps it's because I choose to surround myself with only good people. But my friends sat me down and said, listen, Alice, you're gonna have to suffer through knowing how toxic this man is. You're gonna have to, stop la 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 in this situation and actually listen. But deep down I knew that I had good friends and I need to hear them out. So I did what I had to do. I sat down one day with these drama videos about Jeffree Star, and it did not take me long at all to sit there and feel absolutely horrified, embarrassed. In my effort to avoid toxicity, I had become part of the toxicity. Basically what I'm saying is I had to come face to face with my own privilege. And I know I mentioned this in the video in which I discovered how underrepresented Black-owned skincare is in our beauty retailers, but I struggled with the concept of privilege for myself. I viewed myself as somebody who always had a lack of privilege growing up because of my poverty. I went into STEM, a woman in the sciences. Whew. But the thing I ultimately had to realize is that having a lack of privilege in certain areas still doesn't mean that you don't have privilege in some areas. And I shouldn't gloss over this. It's not like there was just a switch that flipped and I was like, now I support Jeffree Star. It's kind of related to something that Toddy said in her video. She was talking about how she was vulnerable to Shane and Jeffree, and I understand that because the reason that I started supporting Jeffree Star in the first place is that I don't have words for it, but Pulse had just happened, and that's my home area, and it's still apparently hard to talk about, but it just, I knew people who lost their lives in Pulse. And it was terrifying. It was truly traumatizing. And for whatever reason, I guess I decided, Jeffree Star is going to be the person that saves all of us gays. Like, I don't know why I thought this, aside from perhaps I was vulnerable and fell for his nonsense. But here's the reality. We're all humans. We are all going to make mistakes in this life. What's important is what you do once you've made a mistake. Do you learn from your mistake, or do you continue to make that mistake? Do you validate it? Do you say, no, it's okay because of this circumstance or because of this reason? Or do you say, no, I was wrong and I'm not gonna make this mistake again? So as a real turning point for me, that was where I realized, I do have privilege and I need to acknowledge that so that I don't make more mistakes like this going forward. And of course, in retrospect, it's incredibly obvious to me that I had this privilege because I was able to sit there and justify why I would skip videos titled Jeffree Star is. Would I have been able to skip that video if I was part of that marginalized group? Probably not. I was able to sit there and say, oh no, I'm sure it's just silly toxicity and nonsense. So as far as how I approach drama, now that I've become aware of all of this, I don't skip it anymore. I don't skip it. I don't spend a lot of time on it. I certainly think that drama can really consume you if you allow it to. But I'm also really cautious in forming an opinion. I think it can be really dangerous to watch one person's perspective and take it all as gospel. I mean, I think most people really got the opportunity to learn this one during, what was it, Dramageddon 1 or 2, the first Toddy thing. And I know it seems to be impossible to talk about drama in the beauty community without also mentioning that little phrase of cancel culture, but I don't feel that way. I don't feel that watching drama has to be about cancel culture at all. To me, it's much more about taking notes. The thing is, there's usually a little bit of truth to everything that you hear. The question is how much truth and how much not truth. I see it a lot more as taking notes, notes on people's behavior, notes on how they respond to things, and maybe notes to be cautious about supporting a brand or buying from a brand or watching a content creator. Just, a bit of healthy caution. You guys want to know something funny, though? From this whole dramatic situation, I took home a point that I haven't seen anybody comment on, and that is, wow, being extremely wealthy or extremely famous does not mean you have everything going for you. In fact, it seems y'all still want more than what you have. It really does seem like jealousy is a tremendous driving factor in a lot of what's going on, and I can't wrap my head around it. So one of you is jealous that you have 16 million subscribers, and the other has 20 million subscribers. Do you understand that you have 16 million subscribers and you don't have anything to be jealous of whatsoever? It's actually really interesting, and sorry, but I gotta cite a study even in a video this laid back. But there was a study that was done several years ago on income and happiness, and what they ended up finding is that past a certain income level, your happiness absolutely does not increase, and it is not a large amount of money. There were two different studies. One found 70,000 is peak happiness, and the other found 92,000. Could just be different areas, what have you. But I found that so interesting. You're not any happier making 200,000 a year than somebody who's making 80,000 a year. But holy guacamole, we are certainly seeing it in this drama situation. None of these people are happy. None of them are happy with what they have, which is an extremely large amount. Have you seen their homes? Have you seen their homes? They should be doing nothing but basking in happiness, and yet they're getting themselves involved in drama for the how many times? You guys know what's almost funny and yet still not funny at all? I have never in my life supported Shane Dawson because I saw through him from day one. From day one, I knew what Shane Dawson was up to, because he did that thing where he had a facade of poverty, and I am very capable of seeing through that because, as mentioned, that is something that I grew up in. Oh, I know I've ranted about this on this channel before, but the type of people that say things like, oh, I'm so poor, my mom bought me a Honda for my birthday instead of a BMW. I hate that. I hate that passionately because I had to buy my own car with my own money at 24 years old. And ooh, it was a clunker. Oh, it was a clunker. Loved that car though. $35 a month for my car insurance. That was a piece of crap. But see, here's the thing about allyship. You are not born knowing how to be an ally for marginalized groups other than those that you yourself were born into. You have to learn these concepts. And I tend to think that that's where we get phrases like fake woke from, meaning people who haven't really, fully internalized this concept but still want to think that they're allies. I genuinely think that the best allies are probably people who are saying, I don't know if I'm a good ally. I don't know. I probably have a lot more to learn. That's probably a sign that you are on the right track because, yeah, I genuinely think you're going to always be learning because it's not your own experience. Let's test it. Let's see if I truly have makeup that's going to stay under this mask. This mask is so cheap. Oh, my God. All right, moment of truth here. But did it hold up? Oh my gosh, it did. All right. Thank you, MAC Face and Body. Let's go over all of the makeup that I used. So I did use 2 primers, which I commonly do. I used my Juno Moonshine with a little bit of extra mist so that it spreads better. I used Urban Decay's All Nighter Face Primer on this portion of my face because it has a little bit more grip to it and I wanted to not have my foundation transfer onto the mask. Milk's Hydro Grip is another option in the grippy primer category. CoverFX has one as well. For eyeshadow, I used the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow in the shade Supreme. These eyeshadows stay all day, and you can do a one eyeshadow look like I did today, or you can put it over other eyeshadows, do a contour out your eye area. For foundation, I did use the MAC Face and Body because this seems to be incredibly transfer resistant. I did add in a little bit of my Coquindo because this is the shade C1 and it's a little warm for me. Nice to have some added olive in there. So I pretty much always mix a little bit of an olive foundation into any of my other foundations. I use the Ulta Beauty Youthful Glow Concealer, which is pretty much the only concealer that I use. Apparently it is similar to Glossier's concealer, but I've had no interest in trying it to compare because I love this so much. I used the Bobbi Brown Longwear Gel Eyeliner in Caviar Ink, which is a kind of a black-brown shade. Maybelline's Snapscara, which I'll talk more about in Friday's video. The Fenty Cream Bronzer, also we'll talk more about in that video. Florence by Mills Blush, which I truly think is a very underrated blush. And the Chantilly Cosmetics Glow Dough Highlighter, which I don't think I showed on camera because I was out of things to say. But Chantilly Cosmetics is a really cute, small, black-owned indie makeup company. And then I also used the Lip Bars lip gloss. This is the shade Bourgeois. This has got to be one of the most repairing lip glosses. You're really getting a lot of color out of it, but it feels so nourishing on the lips. Absolutely love the lip bar. It's a little runny though. I should have used a lip liner along with it, but I just forgot. But anyway, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. I hope you are not too sucked into the drama. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.